What's happening in Coachella Valley? This is Craige Campbell for CoachellaValley.com, and I am here in our studios in Palm Desert, and we're in November. I cannot believe it. And here's my co-host, Francoise Rhodes. She just turned on the live for us, traveling with Francoise. How's it going, Francoise?
It's going in this strange world of ours. Hello, everyone. How's it going out there with you?
Hey, so many big changes for you. There in San Diego County, you guys have been thrusted back into Tier 1, which is where we're at.
Which is also confusing because
people are asking you what's open and what's
not.
What's
open, what's closed. I went to Hobby Lobby and I'm sure all of you, I know you're all feeling the same frustration. I went to Hobby Lobby the other day. It's open. And they're just doing, all these stores are open and they're doing all these things and the patios outside are open and I don't even know anymore. Wild Lights is going to happen. We know that. They haven't canceled it, but it's strange. We were going to ask everybody something. What were we were going to ask you something. Anyway, I hope you're having a beautiful, I was watching the Masters. Let's talk about some golf. I was watching the Masters.
Oh, excuse me for just a minute. I'm just going to share over to today's California, traveling with Francoise. Today's Canada. So I'm going to be busy, and why don't you talk about the Masters?
Okay, I'm going to talk.
The Masters are very interesting. We were talking about it, the format, the way it looks on TV.
No, people
talk to them about the amazing man that's actually leading this tournament.
Yeah,
right now.
and I don't want to give it away if you're recording it but Dustin Johnson is, he's got a great story behind him. Tiger Woods got a 10 on a hole. I will tell you that. Par 3. He said he misjudged the win, like not one time, but several times. But if there's any sport that I don't know what it is.
So harsh on Tiger.
Yeah,
poor Tiger.
he was laughing about it. You gotta give him credit for that. He was laughing about it. I do really enjoy watching major championships in golf. I don't know. I think because it being such a individual sport, you're so in your head. You can make or break what happens out there on a golf course. And that's for those of you who think golf is boring. It's not boring up here. Trust me. I played for a long time. And it's just, like I say, you either win or you don't. You can't depend on anybody else but yourself out there. And I think that's what I enjoy about the sport so much. Football, you have a whole team behind you that rallies behind you. That's basketball, right. And all these other sports.
And you also have, first, second, and third string.
Yeah, right. To fall
so
back
if you're just
on.
not feeling so good, you can substitute yourself.
Yeah.
But golf, it's all about you and how you're feeling that day, for sure.
And tennis, you're actually playing against an opponent's shots. You know what I mean? You have to handle what they put back on you. Or in golf, it's all about you are making each one of those shots good or bad. And when it's bad, it's all on you. You can't blame anybody else. Of course, golfers are notorious for blaming. We blame everything. The weather, the sun was in our eyes, there was that bug that flew by. I know anyway. So if you're watching the Masters, it will be over early because they actually started playing it early in the morning. They were weather delay on Thursday.
Yeah, didn't they play like extra 8 holes? I didn't know you could even do this.
Well, they had to actually carry over all the rounds except for yesterday's third. They finally caught up yesterday at the end of the day because of weather delays. So anyway, it's going to be exciting out there. What's going on in your world? We were just talking about all this craziness happening out there. It's getting a little bit, it is frustrating. I told Craige, I don't even know if I want to talk about travel because I don't want to tell people to go travel when you really should probably not be traveling, but yet I understand why you want to travel. So I do have some info about travel insurance and stuff. Some good info that will help people.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. I can't wait for that.
Well, people are always talking about travel insurance. And some of the numbers about...
So even if I do travel, I need to worry about my insurance issues.
Yeah, sure. Here's a nice article, though. I saw this in the Desert Center about Goleta Meadows and Borrego Springs.
There you go. That is very nice.
Isn't that very cool?
What you need to know is that...
understand, though, why what's the deal with an artist wrapping the elephant? What kind of art is that? I'm not sure. I love art, but it's in the eye of the beholder. Actually, I got to look for us and see where we are on here. But this whole idea of wrapping an elephant and calling that art, no offense to the artists, but that is a little odd, don't you think? Did you see that? I don't quite get it. I don't know.
So I'm almost done.
Okay.
I'm getting there. Just keep us going, Francoise.
All right. We do know that Wild Lights is going to be happening. Wild Lights at the Living Desert. I'm going. We went last year. Remember
we went last year? We did. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, we are
ran into
going.
Rebecca Luna, if I remember.
That's
Wasn't
right.
that fun?
Yes, it was fun. They had a media night. I don't know if they're going to do this, but I want to say hi to Laura. Let's see. Anita says, how about holiday events or places to take the kiddos, even if it's drive-by? No one's saying now. That's the thing, Anita. We were just in a roll of them starting to let people know what's happening, not virtually. Okay, I'm getting sick of all the virtual stuff, frankly. I'm sorry, but I am. But real live things that we could go and do. And now all of a sudden we're slapped in the face again saying, well, we don't know. Is that a good way to...
Well, there you go. You've covered it all. Appreciate it. So people ask what there is to do. And apparently we're getting slapped in the face.
Hey, Gary.
Really, way to go. Way to go.
Laura Green. Hi, Laura. Vicki Lee Mills.
Hey,
good
Vicki,
morning
how's
to
it
you.
going?
Christopher Thompson. Hello. Davina Harrow. Hi. When is Wild Lights? All right. I do have that info.
All right. So
we
there
are
you
ready
go.
for that.
There are a few things going on, such as Wild Lights. So yeah, give them the...
Okay.
Right now, you got to know this. The Living Desert's completely open.
Yeah.
The hiking trails are available. The gift shops you can walk into because they're serving food. There's no place to eat there, but you can go inside. The only thing that's really not happening are they had shows that they would do.
Yeah.
Docents and other zoo officials, zoo people, right? And they would show you armadillos and things inside. That's the only thing that's closed. So Wild Lights is absolutely happening. And go ahead.
It is. Wild Lights is held select evenings Wednesday, November 25th through Sunday, December 27th from 6 to 9 p.m. Remember, though, you have to reserve your tickets online. And
I highly recommend you do that because space is limited, and Wild Lights is a very, very popular event. Also, something else.
They are going to have s'mores around the fire. At least they say they are now. Refreshments. Okay, want to say hi to Davina. I said hi. Anthony Enriquez. Just got breakfast from Trader Joe's. A vegetable lasagna and a pack of mozzarella. Well, there you go.
That's so yummy.
Yeah, Gary Schwartz says good morning to both of us, you and I.
Look at you.
Kanani Suzuki, aloha from Hawaii.
Wow.
Aloha from you, Hawaii.
That's
you guys
fantastic.
Kind of opening up. Let's see, kiddos.
So here's some other things we can talk about and maybe do.
Okay.
Don't forget that the Cabazon dinosaurs are open. In fact, they're lighting those dinosaurs up at nighttime, which I think is very, very cool.
Yeah.
And you can take a picture with Santa. So there's a Santa sleigh. You got those big dinosaurs. It's always a very, very cool outing there in Cabazon. So that's something that you can go and have and enjoy and bring your family.
Did it dawn on you that we will not have a Festival of Lights parade in Palm Springs? Did you just think about that?
And I thought about it during Veterans Day because Veterans Day, Palm Springs, downtown has one of the largest, if not the largest. We have so many interesting facts. Largest Veterans Day parade in Southern California.
Really?
And that was scrapped, yes. You didn't know that.
I did not know
was
that.
The largest Veterans Day parade, I believe, in Southern California. So that was scrapped. Our parade of lights scrapped.
So does that mean we can't have a tree light? We can't have tree lightings?
Well, you can.
I know what we wanted to ask. Who knew, or who knows, or who knew, what were all the fireworks in Palm Desert last night?
So we were...
Around 8:30, there was 20-minute fireworks show. It looked like it was off of Hobley over by, I don't think it was a high school. It looked like the soccer park over there. I mean, they were phenomenal. I could see them from my living room. So does anybody know what those fireworks were?
After our show last week, it was the mulch fire had started, right when we had ended our show, and someone had asked us during the show if they had wondered why all these cars and all these EMTs and stuff are heading to Palm Springs. It was a mulch fire, and they had these evacuations in North Palm Springs. So not sure, right, what was happening. Whitewater Preserve closing on the 16th to the 24th. It says for safety reasons. I'm not really sure what that's about.
But
it's
Thanksgiving
obviously not,
is the 26th.
Right, so it's not COVID or travel advisory based, but they are closing Whitewater Preserve. You might want to think about Pioneer Town near there. There's a hiking trail. The Mission Trail is also near there if you're interested in that particular area. But Whitewater Preserve closed, so there you go. We're in Tier 1, and I've always said, here's the simplicity of it. We have to get down to about 175 cases in Riverside County, Francoise, a day.
I'm listening.
A day. So if it's not under 175 cases a day, then we're in trouble.
So are these cases of tests that come in positive? Are these cases of people
That's
walking into the hospital?
No.
I mean, I don't even understand what the cases
they're
are
testing.
anymore.
If you test and you are positive, that is a case.
Okay.
If you walk into a hospital and you're tested and it's positive, that's a case. So the case has nothing to do with the depth of how the illness is affecting you. It is just simply that your body is registering that you now have COVID in your system.
So here's my question, because I've really been thinking that, and Anita, you're right on everything you posted, by the way. If everybody just put one string of lights out for the holidays, just think how beautiful it'd be. Here's what I am so confused about. If we have the virus and we're by the virus, do we still test positive for the virus? How long does it stay in our system that we're, because you read up a lot more on this than I do.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
I mean, they don't tell us any of this
Well, we'll
stuff.
just use President Donald Trump as an example. He was tested positive.
Yeah, and then he's
went
out
into
a
the
couple days
hospital,
later.
and actually less than the 14 or 10 days, he was testing negative. So I believe that once your body rids itself of the virus and fights it, that you are no longer... Now, you may have antibodies, which is a different test. Leftover antibodies that might be able to fight the virus. But you either are sick or you're not.
Okay.
And you either have symptoms or you don't. If you're tested and you're positive, whether that case is incorrect, because there's bad reads too.
Oh, yeah.
It's measured as a case. So let me get back to the case number real quick and get past this. Let me make it super simple for you guys in Riverside County. Currently, our positivity rate, we're still in Tier 2. We're below the 7%. So as a result, in our positivity, that means how many tests that we've taken are actually positive, is below 7%. We're in Tier 2. What we're not in is daily cases. So in Riverside County, we must see the daily cases at around 175 or less. Francoise, we're nearing 700 the last time that the cases were measured. So we are 4 times the current rate to be able to move ourselves back to Tier 2. So as of now, our case rate is 14%, twice what it needs to be. But I'm letting you know that the case rate yesterday is 4 times where we need to be. And all those numbers are looked back. So we look back a couple of weeks. So really the trend is getting worse. I do not, and I will predict that Riverside County will not be out of Tier 1 for quite a long time. We have to be out of we have to be in Tier 2 numbers for 2 weeks solid before we can move. So you guys can get rid of all the noise. Just look for how many daily cases there are in Riverside County. We need to be below 175 to even be thinking about getting to Tier 2. So that's the simplicity of it right there.
But it's not, and I want to say hi to Jenny Inch. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for joining us. Anita says we just all need to stay safe no matter what we do, and I totally agree. And here's something that, I didn't think it would bother me, but we have tried and worked so hard in the Coachella Valley all summer long. I mean, we really have. Everybody's worked so hard with the shutdowns, everything to stay safe. And now I know of at least 5 country clubs, just because I know people that live in different ones, that and neighborhoods as well, that have had snowbirds. And I'm not trying to offend any snowbird out there. I understand where you want to get out of the snow, but have brought in the virus, have brought it with them, they're infected when they get here because they haven't been tested, and it's easier to get tested here because there's not the long lines. And now we're getting all these breakouts in places that didn't have, and maybe it is time that people stay in their own state.
Well, let me tell you, I did put out an article yesterday. We only have 1 county left in the entire United States that has not reported a case of COVID. That means every single area of the United States, every county, that's Alaska, that's Hawaii, we have COVID, except for 1. Can you guess where that is?
No, where?
Well, I already told you.
I know.
I just wanted to see how you're going to handle that.
No. But tell us what part of the country it's in.
Okay, so Texas,
which has had humongous
that's
cases.
Right. They have huge cases.
Yeah.
But Loving, Texas.
Loving? L-O-V-I-N-G?
Yes, it is. Isn't that nice?
That's because of the name.
Loving, Texas does not have, is the only place in the United States, the only county that has not produced a COVID case.
So has no one tested?
That could be the case.
Is that it? No one just hasn't bothered testing and they don't want to know?
There was 82 in the last census, 164 in that town.
Wow.
They have thousands of trucks though that drive through there because it is a pathway for natural gas and oil trucks. So that's what that town's all about.
So they must have a diner.
They probably
They have to
and
have
it's
a
got to be
diner
wide
that all the
open.
truckers stop at.
I know, really. So, something interesting today. Obviously, I think that was very interesting.
That was very cool. No,
One left.
loving Texas. And like I say, Texas has had so many spikes. I'm waiting for someone to tell us what all the fireworks were about in Palm Desert. Davina says that's why our numbers are rising. People need to get tested, and if positive, they need to self-quarantine. It's so true.
So, and that's the travel advisory. We have a travel advisory here in California. It's kind of crazy. I guess they're with the spike in Halloween, and now we've got two major holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas season coming up. I think they're worried about this spread across the United States, and as a result, we have a travel advisory here in California that was issued.
Right.
And this is what it says. It says that if you are coming in from another state, you gotta hang out for 14 days, self-quarantine. I don't even know how many people are gonna, I mean, could you imagine flying from somewhere for a holiday, but you have to be there 2 weeks prior because you need to be by yourself before you see anybody? Just doesn't seem very realistic, in my opinion.
So I actually have from Visit California the travel advisory, and this is what is even more confusing for all of us. It says it's important to note that hotels remain open for leisure travel, just as they have in most countries since June 12th. Many Californians who plan to leave the state for the holidays likely will alter their plans and travel to California instead. So they're saying that now, instead of people actually leaving, they're going to travel within California, and more people are coming to California. The advisory recommends Californians returning to the state after non-essential travel to quarantine yourself. So they're asking you now, if you leave the state for the holidays, to quarantine when you come back to the state. And for those people that are working and whatnot and have already been through the rounds of closures and whatnot, everybody's going to just be able, I'm sorry, to shut down for 14 days.
Hey, do you remember Maryland? Forever Maryland.
Oh, I thought it was somebody you knew.
I didn't know her.
Did they decide what they're doing with Maryland? Is there a decision?
They did.
She is very...
So on November 12th, the city council did agree for 3 years to place it in front of the Palm Springs Museum, right there, and behind the Kempton, in front of the museum.
And where the babies are?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be in front of the Palm Desert Museum, like on the street.
Good.
So like it literally, now there's some pushback from the art museum because it's not associated with the art museum. And they're like, were they going to have kids come and look at a big Maryland? So they were worried. Their biggest thing was children looking up Maryland's skirt and everything, and they didn't feel that it was representative of Palm Springs Museum.
I mean, have you looked at Maryland's skirt?
I don't really know.
There's nothing.
I don't know.
There's nothing. I mean, it's a statue. Come on.
I'm just saying, there's the competition, that goes on. I think it will bring more attention to Palm Springs Museum because that museum is so far in the back there. I have brought it up so many times, and people that have lived here don't even know it's there. So they did agree. They agreed, so it's coming back.
Good. I think it's a great spot. Denise Grant says, yay, Maryland. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, and a lot of people are going to agree. Maybe the museum doesn't agree, but you have that big of an attraction right in front of the museum. People are going to look over there and say, hey, we're here. Let's go there.
I agree.
Might not have ever
I agree.
known.
Now, let me tell you what's going to make it complicated. The city only agreed for 3 years.
I thought they bought it.
No. So Palm Springs Resorts, I believe, is the nonprofit. It's actually funded by hotel tax. So it is the city, taxes that are paying for this. But they're trying to negotiate, and they've been trying to negotiate all the way back since 2016. After it left here, I think it left in 2014. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a long time ago, right?
So 2016, they've been trying to negotiate it, and they've either been trying to get a lease or buy it. The purchase price is about $1 million if they can pull it off. What they needed, there was a location. So but prior to that, they needed the city to approve that they would put it somewhere before buying it. Now that they got at least a 3-year approval, now it comes down to negotiating whether they're going to lease it or whether they're going to purchase it. Probably lease is going to look like it, and the reason I say that is because when a city only agrees for 3 years, what are you going to do with it if you buy it? So they're more than likely going to lease it. That's what I feel based on just the way the language. They also, in the language of the actual agreement, it says that the city of Palm Springs, if there's any issues, can change their mind at any time. Kind of that like.
I mean,
so it's a very kind of a iffy. Once again, it could be removed if there's a challenge. I don't know that I would want to own that. But I guess they could place it in another
And people
city.
were so sad to see it go the first time.
Oh my gosh.
And they lost, I'm not going to say they lost tourism out of it, but
It sure seemed to me that there was always people there.
always, no matter
including myself.
what time of the day.
I brought people there too.
All
Any
the time.
visitors, I'd be like, let's head down
Yes.
to downtown Palm Springs. So
If you looked at, remember the camera they have up there, the live cam? You could look at that live cam any time of the day or night, and there were people at that statue.
I agree.
That's crazy. So, well, at least it's coming back. So
Don't
I'd
forget-
love to see her up there.
Don't forget Desert X. Only reason I mention it is because it's such a big deal. February 6th
I
through
know.
April 11th is coming back to the Coachella Valley. What a perfect event. Outdoors. That could probably be social distance pretty easily and very creative. It's always a huge draw. And the last time we talked, you were letting me know that maybe even Borrego
I was
Springs.
trying to get Borrego in. I talked to them, but right now they already actually have their lineup of artists. And they said Borrego, and the artists actually go out to, and maybe a lot of people don't realize this, but the artists go out to their installations several times a day during Desert X.
I didn't know
I
that.
guess to keep it up, to make sure
makes
that
sense.
it's clean,
Right.
to make sure that nobody's graffitiized it or whatever. And it was when they had the one at the Salton Sea at the state recreation area that the artist but there were no hotels around there. We have hotels in Borrego, but the artist was going out there sometimes 3 times a day. And it was just a little bit travel-wise and expense and whatnot. So they're trying to figure out, but they have other places, though, that want the Desert X art. So, but maybe next time it comes around. Maybe I should have a mini Desert X in Borrego Springs.
Some other information. We reported this a while ago. Porcupine Creek, owned by Larry Ellison, right?
Yes.
Of Oracle.
I played that golf course. I've been up there.
And they are trying to convert it into a 6-star
They will.
resort. So the environmental, just to let you know where we are, in October just now, they did put out their environmental reports, and public hearing is now open. So if you have a comment about Porcupine Creek, you can actually go to, I think it's Porcupine Creek, it's either .com or .org. You can just go to CoachellaValley.com. It's one of our lead articles. And there's the site plan, the information, what it's going to look like, what they're looking at doing. 50 rooms is what they're looking at doing.
A crazy
50
time
rooms.
when the Blixes owned it up there, and they were real tight with Mary Bono. Some of you remember that. I mean, the parties and stuff that went on, and the fundraising.
You have
They
some
did
pictures,
raise
Francoise.
Yeah, they
Any
did raise
video?
a lot of money up in there. But it was something. That place is really incredible. Yeah.
So here's some breaking news. Just before we got on, Tommy Lasorda has been in the hospital for a week. He's now in intensive care due to heart issues. Reported by TMZ this morning. It's never good, you know.
No.
Usually TMZ's on it, but he actually has been in the hospital for a week. What's changed is he's now in ICU. So critical condition, Tommy Lasorda. Thank God he was able to see the Dodgers win this year. What an incredible run for them. So just, you know, it seems like every time we come on that someone else is disappearing. But I just wanted to say it. Prayers go out to him and his family. He is still alive and with us. Hopefully he'll recover.
Why is it so? Let's not even go there.
Okay, let's don't.
Let's not even go there. All right. I want to say Johannes in Palm Springs. They are working on this beautiful new patio-let area that they're opening up for everybody to go out there and be outdoor dining. And so Johannes open Sunday. I need to get some more certificates too for them. So Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays.
Do you know it's so beautiful out here?
They're closed Monday, Tuesday.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to get that in.
I'm sorry.
5 to 9:30. Johannes restaurant. Yes.
I'm
sorry.
hungry. I'm really hungry for
schnitzel?
Johannes. For some schnitzel.
This is famous.
That's
Schnitzel
true.
is good.
Well,
what were you talking about?
I was going to say, so it's so beautiful outside, but a lot of people do not know that yesterday that most of the Riverside County Basin, you were not allowed to burn wood indoors or outdoors due to pollution yesterday. So we had can you believe this? We had a wood burning ban.
Because
Actually,
they were saying our
for
weather
1 day.
was the best. Remember when everybody stopped driving? I was actually going out to Borrego, and it's so weird to see no one on any of the roads and freeways and whatnot. But our air quality in LA was the best it has, I think, ever been.
Well, here yesterday, now that didn't apply to Coachella Valley, but it did apply to most of Riverside County, LA Basin as well. So the pollution was so high that you weren't allowed to burn wood outdoors or indoors yesterday. Now, I don't think a lot of people get this information.
I don't know, and I can't believe that
know.
not one person knows what those fireworks were about in Palm Desert. What is up with you out there?
We should know those things.
You're living right next to it. Somebody has to know what all those fireworks are.
Well, let's talk about weather for a second. Do you know what the average normal temperature should be now?
Okay, I would think now would be around. Today, I would say 78, 79.
You were all over it. You are right there. 78 yesterday, 77 today is your average. We're looking at temperatures around 84 today.
Doesn't feel like it though. It still feels kind of like there's a little chill in the air.
I think it's because it was 121 degrees just in October. We had such high temperatures. Yes. Remember, we had 23 straight days in October that were triple digits until the 24th. We finally had a break. So we are just now getting into these. So for us, 70 and 80 is very, very cool. And 88,
we'll take it.
We're looking at a high of 88 coming on probably tomorrow and Tuesday.
Doesn't it feel like that either?
No, it just feels so
amazing
Mr. Reporter,
and beautiful. Craige and Coachella Valley. If you haven't been to CoachellaValley.com, first of all, you need to go. 6
new articles up there telling you everything.
He's working away.
Everything
all of this isolation
about
is
here.
paying off because all he does is work now.
I got really fat fingers now. They're super shaped.
And he does this all on his phone, which is incredible. No way. I have my computer. I don't know how you do it. Anyway, so San Pablo, they've closed down. You can go to the aquatic center. It's open, by the way. That's open. You're outside in the pool. I'm not sure how they're social distancing.
Although they closed the road to get to it.
No.
Well, you can get to it.
You can get to it,
but only if you're going to the aquatic center. It's not a thoroughfare.
Right.
Anymore,
you can't go down Magnesia Falls and that one area by the Civic Park where all the gigantic trees are. I hear they're going to be removing all those trees. I think about all the animals that live in those trees. They're incredible. Those trees that are there. They want to get rid of those trees and redo the median and make that whole area between Magnesia Falls and the San Pablo the hub of the desert, which I don't get.
I drove it yesterday, just because you and I have talked about that area so much, and maybe even reporting from there. It's a residential area.
Yeah.
I mean, you drive through there; it's all houses except for a couple of real estate buildings, a couple of buildings on the on the east side, and on the west side.
And the little strip mall where they have the bike shop, they have El Rodeo, they have a deli,
Fox bar there, whatever. Right, they just have a couple of. I'm completely confused at the thought process on that. And why would you make it one lane? And why would you make it where you can't cross the street? Why would you make it if you live in the houses on the east side? You now have to do a U-E to get into your driveway. So even that's you can't drive. So I don't really know. It seems not.
Either.
I don't understand it yet.
Do you want all those trees to go, folks? What do you think about all those big? And I don't know what they're called.
Which trees were where?
They're the ones that are right down the middle between College of the Desert and the
tamarask trees.
Are those tamarasks and the dog parks and the baseball fields
big,
right there?
Tall
the gigantic trees. They want to get rid of all.
I believe those are tamarask trees.
I don't want them to.
They're not indigenous to the Coachella Valley, even though we see them here.
But I just think of all the birds and animals that live in those trees. And the shade, I don't know.
I know. So
I know.
Here's some more news from Indio.
Okay, is it good news? Tell me some good news.
It is good news.
All right.
Okay. So 200-pound potbelly pig got loose in Indio. Was wandering the streets.
Okay. A pet, I suppose.
Was a pet.
Yes.
Guess what the pig's name is? It was picked up and returned.
Porky?
Yeah, the animal shelter and police department called it carnitas. That was the name that they called it.
They called it
carnitas, which is kind of insinuated the poor thing was headed toward the slaughter. Charlotte is her name. So Charlotte
got home?
Yes, Charlotte got home, and we've been reassured by the owners that Charlotte is not going anywhere near the slaughterhouse, and so There's breaking news in India, I think, is positive, and I love reporting stuff like
well,
that.
and they did have that theater though that caught on fire.
Okay,
that
that's true
historic
too.
Theater, and not that that's a positive story.
Oh, that was just horrible. On
yeah,
Fargo, $1 million damage, arson. I believe they already know it's arson. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
That might be the mulch fire, so it might be early. It's just kind of odd that it just burned down. You know, all of a sudden. I don't believe it's actually been an operational movie theater since the 50s. Does that sound right? From the 40s to the 50s, I believe.
So it's a historic building.
It is a historic building. It was in major disrepair, and I don't think it's been used for quite some time. After that, I think it was used for other items. But how sad is that? We got some people that said, "Oh, you had your, quinceanera there, you had this there, or that there." So I was very sad in many ways to see the sentimental feeling of people watching this amazing old theater just burned down on Fargo Street. How does that even happen?
I don't know, but I'm going to applaud Lori and several of you. Lori said, leave the trees. We need the oxygen.
All right.
Yeah, awesome. But you know what? I love it when you guys correct your misspelling of word. Instead of writing there, not you, T-H-E-I-R.
Oh, I like when they help me with that.
And T-H-E-R-E and all this. I love it when you go back and correct it, because the kids in school today, first of all, I'm hearing that they don't have to cursive. Right,
oh, cursive?
No cursive anymore. They don't have to worry about spelling the words correct because everything is auto-correct for them. And I've witnessed this myself with some youngsters, and I'm thinking, okay, what happens when these people that don't know how to write and don't know how to do all these things, when all their technology goes down and they have to think and use their brain for all this? What's going to happen?
I think we should get rid of the apostrophe, because
that
the possessive
gosh.
we know what what's it means. What is we don't need. Why do we have to always find that? It's an extra keystroke a lot on my my thing. I don't like it. I just. You know what I mean?
I know.
We could just eliminate that. Craig's, phone.
Yes.
Do I really have to put the, possessive? I mean, we all know what it is anyway.
Well, not all of us anymore. Anybody below 20 or 17 years old has no clue.
I know the it's, the it is and it's, and I know the there and there are, but I still make the mistake.
Two, T-O-O, two.
And I
also
still
besides.
I didn't used to make the mistake, but my phone autocorrects it half the time. And if you make one error, like if you type in, what's one time without the apostrophe, your phone remembers forever that apostrophe. And so I appreciate people are always helping us.
Denise says, it wasn't you who did it. It was some of our comments. And I like that they're correcting themselves. Denise Grant says, just say, what's up? What's up, man? Oh, did they say, don't say man anymore?
Oh,
what's up? I don't know, but my biggest thing was your. And being a writer, I read my very first article, and I used the word your so many times, and then I realized it was terrible. But anyway, but the your and your are, how many people use Y-O-U-R instead of Y-O-U apostrophe R-E?
Right.
And because they don't get, I don't call anybody out though.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard. You are and your,
yeah.
but we could just get rid of it.
What's your pet peeve? Do you have one out there, folks, that you spell wrong all the time? What are those called anyway?
I have a pet peeve. Craige has an E on the end of it.
It does have.
And everybody corrects it. I mean, it makes sense.
See, your name
with
the E makes more sense to me than the ones without the E.
When I call, I like, that hanging G just doesn't look right. Now with the E, I feel finished. Yeah. But I can tell you, it gets corrected. Like, I call the utility company, and they'll be like, oh, yes, Mr. Campbell. We fixed your spelling of your name, or I'll get back a piece of paper from the doctor's office and it's like it's crossed off. I'm like, well, I put it there, so
right. You would think that you would spell your own name correctly, but have you ever been questioned when you're working on all these accounts that we have to call and do all these stuff, and they question you on how you spell your own name? Have you ever had anybody say to you, are you sure that's right? Well, yes. I think so. I only grew up with it. But,
I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, the Vintage Market is there near Camelot, and it is the first...
The farmer's market?
No, this is the Vintage Market now. The Vintage Market is different, and used to be right there down on Palm Canyon, but it's now moved to Camelot. We're the same place as where the farmer's market is.
Okay.
And they are open the first Sunday of every month.
Awesome.
So December 6th is the next time it's coming up. They just had one. And it's getting bigger and bigger. They're no longer allowing you to park in the parking lot there because it's actually expanding.
Because people want to go out.
They are very excited about the Vintage Market. all kinds of things if you've never been and gone to it. It's not, it is kind of like a swap meet, but it's very specific.
One Sunday a month.
One Sunday a month.
Oh, they should really have it every Sunday.
So there you go.
That's fun. I know our farmers market is growing in Borrego Springs. People want to be outside.
Absolutely.
In the fresh air.
Absolutely.
And I like to see them. They'll go off and they'll meet their friends. They'll go off, sit somewhere with their masks on and talk, sometimes for hours. So it shows you people are needing human contact out there. The tram's open.
Yes.
Snow on the tram.
Right. We had the
Yeah.
contest, and that ended. In fact, I can look right out my window, and I still see a little bit of snow on the top of San Jacinto, which I can see outside our studios as we speak. You know, if you guys have any awesome photos of nature, breathtaking scenery, kids caught, you know, being kids, any pet stories, whatever else, make sure that you send those high-resolution photos and videos directly to us. Now, you can do that through Messenger on Facebook, one of the simplest ways possible. You can also just send them to us at media@CoachellaValley.com. We post a tremendous amount of your photos and videos and pictures. We thank you so much for all of the things that come in. We have a page called Today's California and Today's Canada, which if you have pictures, scenery of those areas, we would love for you guys to continue to send those in. We love Messenger or any type of text messaging that will allow us just to pick that video up. Make sure you add a description and let us know how you want us to credit those photos and videos. So I just always so appreciative.
Yeah.
Laura Green, photos by Laura Green. She is just so helpful, and we get so much information. We had snow flurries in Joshua Tree, which is still open. So Joshua Tree National Park.
I think the parks want to stay open now. I think it costs them more to close and open than it is just to have
and plus
them
it's
open.
outdoors. I mean, Joshua Tree, you're driving with your own party. You know, there's no reason to necessarily collect. I don't think the campgrounds are open, though. Or maybe, I think that's the difference.
I know.
Maybe there are. I'm not sure.
I think
Sorry
it's
about
limited capacity. They don't, they're not fully open, but I know out in some of the other state parks, they do have camping available.
So people were asking what there is to do. Plenty of hiking trails available. Palm Springs Tramway open. We got Living Desert in the zoo.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our other museums or closed due to the fact that they have to be outside.
Cabot's. They have Storytelling Wednesday on November 18th.
Now, is
from
that
5 to 7
outside?
p.m. The Water Gallery and Trading Post will be open. Yes, first come, first serve. Free admission for children 6 years old. Let's see. In the courtyard, they have that great little courtyard
Desert Hot Springs. If you've never been to Cabot's Museum, you gotta go.
Yes, going out there to the Cabot's. It's cabot'smuseum.org. It really gives you an idea of how the settlers of the area lived with Cabot Yerkes, how he actually was.
I think we still feel like settlers there. When you show up in Desert Hot Springs, you still feel like you're settling in a bit, doesn't it?
It's very cool, though. So, again, they have storytelling. Go to their website. They have actually quite a few things going on. They have a great courtyard, which is is shielded from the wind if it's a little windy up there, so you don't have to worry about that. They also have, let's see, what is this one? Storytelling. Learn about Cabot's experience in the U.S. Army and the friendships Cabot Yerkes made in Desert Hot Springs. So, and you know, his donkey mule was named Merry Christmas?
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like
Well, you're going to have to look these things up.
I know. They pop in my head and they pop out of my head, and I don't know. But I was also looking that Desert Recreation has a bunch of things going on in December. They have a candy cane hunt, a holiday craft fair, Candy Cane Lane, Santa Letter Drop in Palm Desert. So for more info, you want to check out Desert Recreation District.
You know what I'm going to do next Saturday?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go to the Humane Society. They invited me.
You getting a dog?
I'm not, but I'm going to go to the Palm Springs Humane Society, and we're going to go live.
Oh,
and we're going to show some of the big boys, some of the big doggies, because the little ones seem to get picked up faster than the big ones.
Yeah.
So we're going to be focused on the big dogs next Saturday. I hope you guys will join me there at the Humane Society in Palm Springs. You know something else?
What time are you doing this?
Something else is going on? I'm not sure.
Okay.
They want me there like at 6 in the morning.
What?
I'm trying to do 11.
Do they? Okay. Yeah.
So Shadow Hills has, I didn't know this, but the kids get together for sunrise as a regular service for Shadow Hills. Not a service, but it's a thing that they've done, I guess, for many, many years, and they're going to do it again. I think it's Wednesday. I could be wrong on the date, but guess who they've invited to go hang out with them?
You.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm going to try, if I can get up that early, to go out there and actually do a live, watch the sunrise with the Shadow Hills High School.
Coach there?
Not there. I have coached. I coached 15 years out here in the Coachella Valley, including College of the Desert, SoCal Coyotes, lots of them.
Oh, not just one.
So football, basketball, and soccer. So.
So Anthony says, They're there. I forgot which preposition. Lots of laugh. Okay, I think preposition is a plural. I forgot. Yeah. Well, that's probably more than...
Better than most.
So good job, Anthony. Good job.
Do you know Prop 22, which was the Uber driver, Lyft driver, whether they're going to be employees or not?
Did that pass? I know all my propositions. Don't ask me which ones. All of them passed, but all of them I had voted on passed
so powerful.
how I voted, except for 3. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
But don't ask me which ones.
I'm not going to ask you which ones.
Yeah.
So what happened was Uber and Lyft were able to maintain independent contractor status for drivers. It was the most ever expensive Proposition campaign ever. $200 million spent for Proposition 22. Of course, it had big ramifications for Uber and Lyft throughout the United States, not just California. So if California had turned that into employer businesses, Uber and Lyft probably wouldn't be operating here. And I don't know what the future would be. So they spent $200 million, largest spend ever, to maintain the status of independent contractors for Uber and Lyft and other rideshare and DoorDash and those type of things.
Well, I hope, though, that they actually, they'll make their independent contractors, though, have a standard of presentation and whatnot. Because my mother had to take one for a medical thing where I was working and I couldn't anyway. That this transport service sent an Uber driver that really, frankly, from what I heard from her and her neighbor, the guy was really rude and dirty, and it just, and she doesn't have one of these smartphones, so she wouldn't even know how to, give a review or anything. But remember, if you're an Uber driver or whatnot, that all that matters.
It does, because I look at it, when I get somebody, if it has a 5-star rating and lots of positive things, I'm much more comfortable.
Right.
If I saw 1 or 2, I'd probably be choosing another driver.
Yeah. So you do wonder
if the car smells, I'm just not going in it.
Oh, okay. I got in one going to the airport with a friend, and I tell you, it smelled like onions, and it was so nauseous. It was so nauseous. I couldn't wait to get out of that car, and frankly, that was enough for me not to even want to use it anymore.
Things to say. You weren't sure what you were going to share today.
Too much stuff. Anthony says he majored in English. Well, okay, Anthony, we're just going to ask you all of our English questions.
I appreciate that. Can I send Anthony? Can I send you over our articles and have you just edit and proofread them? I'd really appreciate it.
You don't need to worry. Just
he's involved. Anthony is always engaged in our lives. I appreciate it. I don't even know who he is. No, I don't.
No, well, we know you. We do know you, Anthony. There's a little tiny picture right there.
That's right. We're checking out your profile as we speak.
Oh my gosh, Sunnylands has some stuff going on outside as well.
Tell us, Sunnylands.
So they have their historic walk. That's a 1 mile walk onto the estate. They're doing that in November, so if you've never done that, it's a really interesting walk.
Sign up?
It's $25 per person. And I have to tell you, all the people, the presidents and dignitaries and people that have walked on that land out there, it's quite historic. It's crazy out there. They have the landscape tour, offers Wednesday through Sunday. That's $125 per shuttle. I don't quite understand that one. But anyway, they do have things going on. They have the Estate Bird Walk. That's $38 per person. So if you're interested in what's going on at Sunnylands, I would just go to their website, sunnylands.org. And the Annenberg Estate is there. I bet people now don't even know who Annenberg, Walter and Leonora Annenberg, who they were at this point. A couple more years, they'll just think that Pepto-Bismol pink wall is some sort of Art Deco thing, but that actually was Leonora's favorite color.
Something else you can do, go down to the escape room. You know, the escape room's still open in downtown Palm Springs. That's really hard to believe that it's operating. But I go to their website and it's right there.
Good.
You know, they can bring people in on a scheduled basis.
Right.
You know, it could just be one household, could just be 2 people. So you're not mixed with strangers at all. What a great opportunity to go 6 different rooms, something to do, something to get out, something to bring the children or others that are coming into town. And they've just done such a great job of setting everything up. They've been out there for so long, going 7 days a week. It's just always one of my favorite go-tos because you know it's there and you know it's open.
And I could see too where if you're worried about disinfection, they'd be really easy to disinfect those rooms and the stuff. Very easy. In fact, I think a lot of it was not so much touching, it was more mental. You know, is more looking at things and trying to figure it out. So yeah, escape room would be fun. Definitely good for thanks. If you have some people over for Thanksgiving, send them over there.
Don't forget, a lot of people don't know this, but when we went from tier 1 to 2, nail salons and massage personal care services were allowed to open up inside. When we went back to tier 1, they allowed nail salons, personal care like masseuse and stuff, massages, to be able to stay indoors. I went and had a massage inside at a place. Haven't done that for all of quarantine. Unbelievable. All I had to do was wear my mask. They checked my temperature. You go in there, spend an hour. The technician, the masseuse, you know, is also wearing a mask. That's the hardest thing is, you know, face down, still wearing a mask.
Well, yeah, that little hole.
It wasn't that easy, but at some point you get used to it. And I just want to remind people, there are things that we can do to keep ourselves healthy and continue to be take care of ourselves during COVID. Now I have a question for you. This I do not understand. So, World's Gym. I decided to go to the mall. You know me, and just always checking stuff out, seeing how things are coming and what's going on, seeing if Santa was there.
Yeah, probably not yet.
See if he's coming. I think he's going to be behind plexiglass though.
Or in a bubble.
Yeah, probably plexiglass. And then the kids get to look at him. And,
well, I guess that's better than nothing.
What was I going to say to you? What was
I don't know. You were going to ask me something. You went to a gym there? No.
Okay, here's the question. I'm so glad you asked. So, as I'm walking by, I notice that inside, people are working out inside World's Gym. Completely open. Inside. Not outside.
I'm so confused.
I'm thinking, well, they must be charging me because I'm a member, but they weren't charging me because you couldn't go in. So I decided, well, I'm going to go check and see what the status of my my membership is. And he's like, oh yeah, you're paid. You've been paying for the last few months or whatever. I'm like, I thought it was outside. This is what he tells me. He says, well, because we have a chiropractor and physician, this is a training center, not a gym any longer, of which you have a membership to as a training center for health and physical reasons. Now, I don't really understand it because it doesn't seem to fit.
So if I was a restaurant owner,
I
would bring in a doctor
or something.
I don't know. And say that we are open for appointments. Plus, you can come and eat because we're essential.
I posted a picture out by EOS where they had all their stuff out in the parking lot. They were working. They put their gym equipment outside, and people were working out. How is it that World's Gym you can go inside? I'm told now that Planet Fitness people have said that they are actually open and you can go indoors. So that was a unique find for me. I was happy to see that my gym, World's Gym.
So have you been working out?
I've been working out at home. I haven't gotten down to World's Gym since. I did walk in there.
You're their best time to remember.
I did walk in there.
Make that payment every month.
I did walk in there. And I learned you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And when I went in there, it was maybe 5 people in that huge location.
Well, that's a good thing.
So it was very social distance.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, I see where all the confusion comes because I like to think I'm pretty much on top of it, completely surprised. I'm like, oh, my gym's open and I'm being charged. I didn't know I could go. So another thing that you might consider doing if you haven't thought about it, and that is maybe your gym is open. Maybe it's something that you could check out and go see and participate in because endorphins are a wonderful thing. I endorse endorphins.
So are we on? Where are we? Are we on Today's California also?
I hope so. Did you not see us there?
I don't know where we are. I haven't even looked.
We're across the board.
We're across the board.
So we're on Today's California. Today's
Here's
Canada.
what I'm actually thinking about doing today, because I need a little bit of a mix-up.
Okay, we're gonna mix
Why
something
don't
up.
you just sit here, and can we do this? Just sit here and go right into the travel?
Well, sure we can. It's just I don't know that you'll be inviting anybody new. Usually, it will. At least Facebook will bring other people. But if you'd like to continue, how are we doing? Are people hanging out with us?
A few. There's 20.
On that one. Just on that
I don't know where all your others are. You see, he has this all over the place.
Oh.
What?
So, Laura just said I never said how I was doing. I guess maybe you might have asked me.
Oh,
I'm doing great. I don't know.
I think it was
that was an hour ago.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I think I'm going to make you restart and just do the whole thing because you need to do it.
All right. Okay.
Let me see what I got. I just want to see what I got going on over here.
1201.
Yeah. I mean, we got people all over the place. This is Canada. See, look at that. They're so lovely. People are so nice. I can't believe it. And I'm gonna.
So what do you want to do? Do you want me to start over, or do you want to just keep going?
I'm gonna have you start over.
He's so bossy.
She asked.
All right.
That's the thing she should have known already.
Then sign off because I have work to do today. Look at all those hearts you're getting. What the heck's going on
This
over
is
there?
on Today's California.
Oh, okay.
He's saluting the journalist. I
said-
really appreciate him.
All right. You want me to go around the back?
Oh, you thinking about turning that off?
Well, no. I thought you want to end and me start over. It's
Well,
12:02. I'm gonna have to go.
Okay. Well, hey guys, thank you so much. This is Craige Campbell for What's Happening Coachella Valley, and this is Francoise Rhodes, traveling with Francoise. We're coming right back at you in the travel station, Today's California, and Francoise is so excited to do her show. She's got so much information, travel news, and tips. Even though we have a travel advisory, this is kind of where
I do have some positive stuff to talk about.
So there you go. So she's just wrestling because it's a little bit frustrating to do a travel show when there's a travel advisory in place. You kind of feel contradictory. But you know what? People that want to travel will, and she's got great news and information. So please come back at us. It's Craige Campbell for What's Happening Coachella Valley. Talk to you guys next Sunday.